Hi all. So today we are going to discuss 7.2 cost audit, secretarial audit related provisions, and till now we completed the 7.1 actually. So I am going to use the supplementary paper 12 June 2020 new. This is downloaded from the institute website. For study note 7, they have given the revised version which is available at the institute website. You please all download this material. So I am going to discuss from the revised material, page number 25. So 7.2 cost audit, secretarial audit, that is the topic for today. So cost audit, secretarial audit. So first we will start with the cost audit. So what is cost audit? So what is the cost audit? What is cost audit? What is cost? Generally, what is cost? Cost sheet, costing records. What is the meaning of all those things? What is generally cost sheet? What? How we will start? Direct material, direct labor, direct material, direct labor, direct overheads. Then step by step we will continue. Then we have to arrive the final cost, total cost. Correct? So there is a procedure, cost sheet, that is cost sheet. Remember your costing. So costing records, what is costing records or books? Costing books, maintenance of cost records. What is the meaning? In costing records, what we will maintain? Utilization of resources, that is material, labor, overheads. What is it cost per unit? Under absorption, over absorption. For the purpose of arriving cost per unit or the product, and for the purpose of pricing, and for many other reasons, we have to maintain the cost. Identify the wastage, identify the losses, input output ratio, standard versus actual. For all these purpose, we have to maintain the costing records. Correct? Then what we are going to study here, actually we are going to discuss about the provision under the Companies Act related to cost audit and secretarial audit. That is the major portion. So we have to understand what is cost audit. That is basic fundamental. After understanding that, what cost audit under section 148, what is the meaning of cost audit under section 148, to whom it is applicable, who is eligible for conducting the cost audit. Okay, so all those things we are going to study. We are going to study more about provision aspect, not logic aspect. Okay, provisionally what is given related to cost audit and secretarial audit we are going to discuss. So I am before, that's why I discussed, actually before understanding the cost audit you should understand what is costing. Okay, costing is, as I said, to arrive the cost per unit, or to arrive the price, to arrive under absorption or over absorption, to arrive the deviation, standard deviation. For many purpose costing will be useful. Okay, so here we are going to discuss cost audit under section 148 of the Companies Act. Fine. So under section 148, first point I am going to read, page number 25. First point, notwithstanding anything contained in this article, central government may by order in respect of such class of companies against the production of such goods or providing such services as may be prescribed, directed particulars relating to the utilization of material, labor, or other items of the cost as may be prescribed shall be included in the books of account kept by that class of companies, provided that the central government, before issuing order in respect of any class of country special act, consult regulatory body constituted or established under the special act. What they are trying to say here? Actually, one is cost audit. Cost audit is applicable to whom, when it is applicable, who has to conduct the cost audit. Okay, that is one aspect. Another aspect is maintenance of costing records. That is the primary thing, maintenance of costing records. Whether all the companies registered under the Companies Act has to maintain the costing records, or there are certain companies has to only maintain the costing record. That is one point. Another point is whether all the companies has to be conducted cost audit, or only companies which is such coming under the such class or class of companies only has to conduct the cost audit. Whether that is the question. Okay, one is maintenance of costing records and another one is Applicability of cost audit. Maintenance of costing record means I have to maintain separate books of accounts related to costing. That is utilization of material, labor, overheads, and allocation of overheads, under absorption, over absorption, cost per unit, how it is arrived, closing stock valuation, opening stock, administration overhead allocated, selling overhead allocated, and factory overhead, how it is arrived. All those things related to costing records. So we are not going to discuss in depth about the costing records logic purpose. We are going to discuss about provision aspect. Okay, so the point is, one is maintenance of costing records and another one is applicability of cost audit. Costing record is the initial thing, and we have to audit that costing record. That is the additional thing. So that we have to understand. That is what discussed here. The first point related to 148 subsection 1, first para I am going to read again. Notwithstanding anything contained in this chapter, central government may by order in respect of such a class of companies engaged in the production of such goods or providing such services as may be prescribed, direct that particulars relating to utilization of material, labor, or to other items of cost as may be prescribed shall also be included in the books of accounts kept by that class of companies. They have to maintain separate books of accounts related to utilization of material or labor or some other cost they have to maintain. It is related to maintenance of costing records, books of accounts. Okay. Point number 2. The central government is of the opinion that is necessary to do so. It may by order direct that the audit of cost records of a class of companies which are covered under subsection 1 which have a net worth of such amount as may be present or a turnover of such amount as may shall be conducted in the manner specified in the order. First thing is maintenance of costing record. The second para is basically point number 2. 148 point number 2 is basically related to applicability of cost audit. Applicability of cost audit is the second para. To whom it is applicable, how it is applicable, on what basis it is applicable, turnover basis, net worth basis. We will understand later how it is applicable. And the point number 2, the audit under subsection 2 shall be conducted by a cost accountant who shall be appointed by the board, and such remuneration must be as may be determined by the members in such manner as may be prescribed. The point is, cost audit is conducted by only cost accountant, that also practicing cost accountant, not an employee. Practicing cost accountant appointed by whom? Board of directors appointing the cost accountant, cost auditor, you can say cost auditor, and also remuneration as determined by the members. So remuneration is determined by the members, but appointment is done by the board. Okay. Continuation. Provided that no person appointed under section 139 as an auditor of the company shall be appointed for conducting the audit of cost record. What is the meaning? Under section 139, who is appointed as an auditor? Who is auditor under section 139? What audit it is actually? It is a statutory audit or financial audit conducted under the section 139, and the eligible person is practicing chartered accountant only can conduct the statutory audit or financial audit. But here we are discussing about cost audit, which only the person practicing cost accountant only eligible to conduct the cost audit. Okay. Next para. Provided further that the auditor conducting the cost audit shall comply with the cost accounting standard. That is also one thing. When I am doing a cost audit, I have to follow the cost accounting standard issued by the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. When I am auditing under section 139 for financial audit or statutory, I have to follow the auditing standards, that is SA, standards on auditing, issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. When I am auditing under section 148, that is cost audit, then I have to follow the cost accounting standard issued by the Institute of Cost Accountant of India. Okay, that's what they said. Explanation. Next para. Cost auditing standard means such standard are issued by the Institute of Cost Accounting Standard of Cost Accountant of India with the approval of the central government. Para. Point number 4. I am reading the page number 26. Point number 4. An audit conducted under this section shall be in addition to the audit conducted under section 143. So this is also the 143 belongs to financial audit. This belongs to cost audit. This is addition they are saying. But cost audit is not applicable to all the companies. It is applicable to only such class or class of companies. That we will go through what is that such class or class of companies. Okay. Point number 5. Qualification, disqualification, rights, duties and obligation applicable to auditors under this chapter also shall so far as may be applicable apply to cost auditor appointed under this section, and it shall be duty of the company to give all assistance and facility to the cost auditor appointed under this section for auditing the cost records of the company. What they are trying to say? We studied in previous class that duties, rights of the auditors. He is having powers, and what is the power? He can access the books of accounts. Duties, he has to attend the general meeting, all those things. So the same duties, powers, qualification, disqualification also we discussed in previous class. The disqualification things is also applicable to cost accountant also, as we discussed. Security having more than 1 lakh, indebted having more than 1 lakh, indebted to the company having more than 1 lakh, and convicted by the court. All the things we discussed in previous class for disqualification purpose. The same thing is applicable to cost auditor also. What we discussed for statutory auditor, the same thing is applicable to cost auditor also. That is what they said. Provided that the report on the audit of cost records shall be submitted by the cost accountant to the board of directors of the company. So here the difference is, cost audit report is submitted to board of directors. In case of financial audit, in case of statutory audit, the audit report is submitted and circulated to the shareholders, members of the company, shareholders of the company. But in case of cost records, cost audit report is not circulated to the members, it's not circulated to the shareholders, it is only circulated to the board of directors. Why? Because it is confidential information. It is confidential information of the company. We can't circulate that information to the shareholders or third party, because the information is confidential. Okay. Point number 6. A company shall within 30 days from the date of receipt of a copy of the cost audit report prepared in pursuance of a direction under subsection 2 furnish the central government such report along with the full information and explanation on every reservation or qualification contained therein. What they are trying to say, once the cost audit report is prepared by the cost accountant and it is submitted to the company board of directors, then board job within 30 days from the receipt of cost audit report from the cost accountant, they have to submit this report to the central government within 30 days. There is one form also is there. We'll understand later. You should be very careful in reading the form numbers, days, penalty amount. Especially form numbers, you should be very careful, because you can expect 1 mark from the form numbers, days, penalties, years, all those things. Okay. Next thing is sixth point, correct? Not 6th point, 7th point. If after considering the cost audit report referred to under section and the information explained furnished by a company under section subsection 6, the central government is aware that any further information and explanation it may call for such further information and explanation, and the company shall furnish the same with such time as may be prescribed by the government. What is saying? Cost auditor is submitted the report to board of directors. Board of directors within 30 days they submitted to the central government. After receipt of report from the board, the central government may order to the company. What they will order? We want some additional information on this report. We want this clarification on this report. Then management is responsible to reply to the questions raised by the central government. That is what the point there. And the 8th point, if any default is made in complying with the provision of this section. What is this section? If they violated the above section, then what will happen? The company and every officer of the company who is in default shall be punishable in the manner as prescribed in section 147. 147 means previous class we discussed penalties related to violation of the above things. That is 25,000 to 5 lakh, all those things you please remember. You please go through the previous class. Penalties, violation for the provisions. 147 you please remember. Same thing applicable here also. For point number B, the cost auditor of the company who is in default shall be punished in the manner as provided in the subsection 2 to 4 of section 147. Same thing. What we discussed in previous class, 147 penalties, the same thing applicable to cost auditor. What is applicable to financial auditor, statutory auditor, the same thing is applicable to cost auditor also. Then the next thing is procedure for cost audit and appointment of cost auditor. For financial year commencing on or after 1st April 2014 onwards. Pursuant to Companies Act 2013 and Suppression of Cost Accounting Records Rule 2011, Companies Audit Rules 2011, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs notified the Companies Audit Rules 2014 on 30th June 2014, which were amended White Companies Amendment Rules 2014 on December 2014. The mechanism with respect to maintenance of cost audit and appointment of cost has been changed and shall be in accordance with the Companies Rule 2014 as amended. So Companies Act 2013 is introduced. Before that, there is a rule called Cost Accounting Record Rules 2011. That 2011 rules is eliminated after introduction of Companies Act 2013, and they introduced the Companies Cost Records and Audit Rules 2014 on 30th June 2014, and they amended the rules also on 31st December 2014. Every year they do some amendment actually. Okay, so now the applicable thing is Companies Cost Records and Audit Rules 2014. That is the applicable one. And the next page, 27 page number, first para I am reading. The applicability of maintenance of cost records and cost audit shall be for those sections which are mentioned in the table A and table B to the company's amendment rules dated 1st January 2015. As per this rule only, maintenance of cost accounting records is done, and the applicability of cost audit is also done as per this rule. They classified the companies into two categories. One is table A, table B, regulated industry, non-regulated industry. So first one is classification of industry. This audit and this cost audit and the maintenance of cost record is not applicable to all companies. Only the companies coming under this table A, table B, only it is applicable, and they classified as a regulated industry, non-regulated industry. That is based on the product, based on the industry nature, they classified the table A and table B. Okay, the point is maintenance of cost record. Maintenance of cost record is also not applicable to all the companies. Okay, so we will understand here. So maintenance of cost accounting records and cost audit, the rules that cost records are to be maintained in form CRA 1. So the point is cost records should be maintained in the format called form CRA 1. You please remember all these forms, numbers, you can expect 1 mark. Which provides principle to be followed for different cost elements. The principles are in sync with the cost accounting standards issued by the Institute of Cost Accountant of India. Since the rules are principle based, no format has been prescribed for maintenance of cost accounting record like pre-2011 industry specific rule. It is open for industry to maintain cost accounting record according to its size and nature of business, so long as it is determined as true and fair view of the cost of production, cost of sales and margin of the product services. Thing is, CRA 1 they have to file the cost records, they have to maintain in the form CRA 1, but there is no specific format. Each industry, based on the nature and the size of the company, they have to maintain the format which contains cost of production, cost of sales, margin element also. Okay, second para, the cost audit report is to be required to be conformity with the cost accounting as referred in section 148 of the Companies Act 2013. Thing is, cost auditing standard, based on the cost auditing standard only I have to prepare cost audit report, cost auditing standard. Okay, next para, it may be noted that the Council of the Institute of the Cost Accountant of India has made it mandatory for cost accountants who practice to follow and conform the cost accounting standards issued by it, and its incumbent on the cost audit report any deviation from the cost accounting standard. So what they are trying to say, the thing is, cost accountant practicing cost accountant who is issuing the cost audit report should follow cost accounting standard. That's what they are saying. Applicability of cost audit. So institute ignored about applicability of maintenance of costing records. They ignored the provision related to applicability of maintenance of costing records. They are directly discussing about applicability of cost audit. Then so we also discuss about applicability of cost audit. The rules have classified sectors, industries under regulated and non-regulated industry. The sector industries covered under table A of the rules are under the regulated sector, and the sectors industries under table B are the non-regulated sector. So two table A regulated, table B non-regulated. Please remember for 1 mark. Regulated, non-regulated means all are some industries, companies say product, this products, this business, cost audit is applicable, like that. So for regulated, every company under regulatory table, if you are coming under the table A business, shall get cost records audited if the turnover from all its products or services is rupees 50 crore or more, and the aggregate turnover of the individual product or services 25 crore or more. If I am coming into the table A category, then if my turnover is more than 50 crore together to as a whole, if it is more than 25 crore na, then I have to conduct cost audit. And or they said or actually not and, or services and the aggregate, not or actually and only they used 50 crore or more, and the aggregate turnover from the individual product or service is 25 crore or more. So what they are trying to say, together all the products my turnover should be more than 50 crore or more. That is one criteria. And for example A, B, C, D, 4 products, out of, if you add all the 4 products, my total turnover is more than 50 crore. But out of this A, B, C, D, any one product I should have more than 25 crores of turnover. For example A, I am having 26 crores turnover. Then cost audit is applicable. Cost audit is applicable to that company. So this is, and the aggregate turnover from the individual product or services is rupees 25 crore or more. Okay. So table A, if I am coming under the table A, if my company is coming under the table A, my total turnover should be more than 50 crore or more, and any one product I should be able to generate 25 crore or more revenue. Then cost audit is applicable. So next thing is, in case of regulated category, table B, the threshold limit is 150 crore or more and 35 crore or more. I think there is an error. You please rectify that. The threshold limit is 100 crore, not 150 crore. Okay. In case of non-regulated category, table B, the threshold limit is 150 crore together. It is not 150 crore, it is 100 crore or more. If it is a non-regulated category, together all the products together I have to generate revenue of 100 crore or more, and each single product, in single product I should be able to generate 35 crore or more. Then cost audit is applicable. Okay. Again A, B, C, D, all the product together my turnover is 120 crore. My turnover is 120 crore. 4 products, total turnover is 120 crore. Out of that B is generating 40 crore. Out of that B is generating 40 crore means both the condition is satisfied. 120 crore more than 100 crore is satisfied, and a single product itself I am generating 40 crore. Hence the cost audit is applicable. Okay. So regulated industry, table A, what is the provision? 50 crore and 50 crore for total turnover, 25 crore for single product. Table B, non-regulated industry, 100 crore for total turnover, single product for 35 crores. Both conditions should be satisfied. Then cost audit is applicable. Next para, second continuation. The rule shall not apply if revenue from exports exceeds 75% of total revenue, or which is operating from sales turnover, all products and services of 50 crore or more during the required to be maintenance to maintain cost account. The thing is, if I am exporting and my major revenue is from export, total revenue, out of total revenue 75% is from export, more than 75% is from export na, then cost audit is not applicable. Or if I am running from SEZ, special economic zone, that is especially for exporting purpose. If I am exporting, that is for specifically export purpose means, then I need not to, then this cost audit is not applicable to that company. Okay. One is my major revenues is from export, that is more than 75% is from export means cost audit is not applicable. Or if I am operating from SEZ unit, SEZ location, then also cost audit is not applicable. Continuation. However, foreign companies having only liaison office in India and engage in production, import and supply or trading of medical devices listed in serial number 33 of table B are exempted. Further, companies are classified as micro enterprise, small enterprises as per the turnover criteria under section 7 of the MSME are also excluded from the preview of rules. Thing is, one is foreign companies only having liaison office in India. They are having one office and they are importing, trading and medical devices means also exempted. And also MSME registered companies registered in the MSME as per the turnover criteria, that companies also excluded from the cost audit. MSME register, small and medium companies. Okay, their turnover might be less than 100 crore or 50 crore. Okay, come to the next page, 28 page number. So page number 28 is basically regulated sector, that is table A. Table A, this many companies, this many industry. I'm reading example. First, telecommunication services, regulated sector. Then you have electricity, that is regulated sector. Petroleum, regulated sector. Drugs, regulated sector. Fertilizer, regulated sector. Sugar, regulated sector. Then machinery and mechanical, user and defense, regulated sector. Turbojet, regulated sector. Arms and ammunition, regulated sector. Propellant powder, regulated sector. Radar apparatus, regulated sector. All these things are regulated sector. You please go through. Not very much important for examination point of view, but table A, table B, maybe they might test one mark from the match the following or something. They will ask one question, table A, table B question also. They will give the product, you have to match whether it is table A or table B. Okay, so after tables, come to the page 30, appointment of cost auditor. So now we are going to discuss about, you know what is cost audit, costing records. Cost auditor has to be appointed to audit the cost auditor, to issue the cost audit report, to audit the costing records. Cost auditor to be appointed. What is the procedure of appointment? Board of director has to appoint, but how we will appoint? What is the procedure? What is the timeline? Okay, all those things we will understand here. So appointment of cost auditor. Appointment of cost auditor. Under the procedure, the cost auditor is to be appointed by the board of directors on the recommendation of the audit committee. So the procedure is, the cost auditor is to be appointed by the board of directors on the recommendation of the audit committee. Where the committee is required to have an audit committee, the cost auditor proposed to be appointed is required to give a letter of consent to the board of directors. What they are trying to say? The cost auditor is to be appointed by board of directors on the recommendation of the audit committee. If the audit committee is applicable, then audit committee will give recommendation. You know when audit committee is applicable, you refer our previous classes. The cost auditor proposed to be appointed is required to give a letter of consent to the board of directors. Point is, cost auditor should give the consent letter to the board first. Yes, I am interested. Yes, I am agreed for your appointment. Okay, consent letter has to given. Then company shall inform the cost auditor concerned officer appointment as such and file a notice of such appointment with the central government within a period of 10 days of the board meeting in which such appointment is made, or within a period of 180 days of the commencement of financial, whichever is earlier. One is due date of appointment of cost auditor. Within 180 days from the date of commencement of financial year, they have to appoint one auditor for that financial year. That is one thing. And once they appointed, they have to file the form to the central government, so form to the MCA. Okay, that is CRA2 form they have to file once the appointment is done. Okay, once CRA1 is for maintenance of costing records, CRA2 is for appointment. Okay, the point is 180 days from the date of commencement of financial year. So one is 180 days and another one is after the appointment within 30 days they have to inform to the central government through CRA2. Okay, whichever is earlier. So next para, any casual vacancy in the office of a cost auditor, whether due to resignation, death or removal shall be filled by the board of directors within 30 days of occurrence of such vacancy, and the company shall inform the central government in form CRA2 within 30 days of such appointment of cost auditor. So due to resignation, death or removal shall be filled by board of directors within 30 days, or any other casual vacancy. Due to disqualification also, if any casual vacancies arise, within 30 days of that one they have to inform under the they have to, what they said actually, the casual auditor, the another auditor is filled and it is should be informed to the company, sorry, it should be informed to the government through CRA2. Okay, so what they are saying, if the casual vacancy arised, should be filled by the board of director after appointment, they have to file the form CRA2 again to the MCA within 30 days. That's what they said. I am reading again. Any casual vacancy in the office of a cost auditor, whether due to resignation, death or removal, shall be filled by the board of director within 30 days of occurrence of such vacancy, and the company shall inform the central government in form CRA2 within 30 days of such appointment of cost auditor. So the next page 31, page number 31. Who can be appointed as a cost auditor? As I said already, only cost accountant under the Companies Act 2013 can be appointed as a cost auditor. Then cost accountant means not only qualified cost accountant, it should be a whole time practicing cost accountant. Okay, he may be an individual or he may be a partner, he can be a partner in the partnership firm also or LLP also. Same provision what is applicable in financial audit, but financial audit is conducted by practicing chartered accountant, cost audit is conducted by practicing cost accountant. Okay, next para, eligibility criteria for appointment as a cost auditor. Eligibility criteria for appointment as a cost auditor. Next heading, eligibility criteria. What is eligibility criteria? As I said, only practicing cost accountant is eligible for conducting the cost audit, correct? And I am going to read the first para. Eligibility criteria under section 141 of the Companies Act 2009 with rule 10 of the Companies Rules and section 148 of the Companies Act, following persons are not eligible appointed as a cost auditor. I think this is related to ineligibility and disqualification. What we studied for financial auditor chartered, the same thing will applicable here also. First point, body corporate cannot be appointed as a cost auditor. Body corporate cannot be appointed as a cost auditor. What is body corporate? Companies. Normally you can take an example. One of the examples is companies cannot be appointed as a cost auditor. Okay, only the formation, the nature of formation should be an individual, sole proprietorship or partnership or LLP. For that formation only eligible for appointment as a cost auditor in a company. Okay, third para, an officer or employee of the company. Officer or employee is not eligible because only full time practicing cost accountant only eligible for conducting the cost accountant. Full time practice means what? They should not be in employment anywhere. That is full time practice. Okay, what is the fourth point? A person who is a partner or who is an employment or officer or employee of the company, again the same thing. If the partner is also employee somewhere, then he cannot be appointed as an auditor because he is not doing full time practice. Okay, person who is a relative or a partner is holding any security of interest in the company, same point, section what we studied in previous class, that security of interest more than 1 lakh means his or his relative is also having in that company, then he cannot be appointed as an cost auditor in that company. Not only him, his relative, anybody is having security shares in that company, means then that company cannot appoint this person as a cost auditor. Okay, that next point, continuation, relatives of any partner of the firm holding any security or interest in the company of face value exceeding rupees 1 lakh. So same thing, if it is more than 1 lakh, then they cannot appoint. Next thing is a person who is indebted to the company or subsidiary or holding or associate such company for amount exceeding rupees 5 lakh. If auditor is indebted to that company, means he got loan of 5 lakh, more than 5 lakh then he can't do the audit for that company. Okay, then also next thing, a person who has given any guarantee or provided any security in connection with indebtedness to any third person or company holding associates, such holding for an amount exceeding rupees 1 lakh. If any person is indebted to the company, on that person, on behalf of that person, this cost auditor is giving guarantee to the company. If on behalf of that third party, this cost auditor is giving guarantee to the company. What guarantee is giving? If that person fails to pay the amount, I will pay. That is guarantee normally. That is what is the amount actually mentioned here. Here 1 lakh actually. Here it is mentioned as 1 lakh. If the person is indebted that is any related to indebtedness for more than 1 lakh. Third party is got the loan of more than 1 lakh, and for that more than 1 lakh this auditor is given guarantee to the company, then he is not eligible to appoint as an auditor. Okay. Next point, a person or a firm who directly or indirectly has a business relationship, as I said in previous class, business relationship. I should not be a supplier, I should not be a vendor, I should not be a major, or I should not be have any business relationship with this company. Okay, then I am not an eligible to appoint as an auditor. Then that business relation is not for a commercial purpose, but that business relationship is not for a commercial purpose, it is an ordinary course of business. Commercial purpose means for making some profit or long term deal, short term deal, I am dealing with that company, then that is a commercial purpose. Ordinary course of business means, as I said in previous class, I am auditing for a telecom industry, I am auditing for example, take Airtel company, I am using Airtel SIM, then I am also a customer in that company. As an auditor, I should not be a customer in that company, but that is not a commercial nature, that is ordinary course of business, because that is profit making is not my motive. I am using service, I am utilizing service at arm length price only. Arm length price is what the third party common man will pay, the same price I am paying. I am paying the same price other pays actually. SIM card 200 rupees means I am also paying 200 rupees. Then that is an arm length price. Okay. So that is not a business relationship. Okay. Business relationship means intention should be commercial purpose. Come to the page number 32. A person whose relative is a director or is in the employment of the company, same point, whatever we discussed in previous class, same point is discussed again. This auditor's relative is also employee in that company, or key management personnel, CFO, MD, company secretary, means then this auditor cannot be appointed as an auditor in that company. Same thing. Next point, a person who is in the full-time employment elsewhere, a person or a partner of a firm holding appointment as an auditor, if such person or person is at the date of such appointment or reappointment holding appointment as an auditor of more than 20 companies. One is full-time employment, we know already. One more thing is, this auditor is already an auditor in more than 20 companies. Then he can't eligible to be appointed as an auditor for this company. So the limit is 20 companies. Okay. Then a person who has committed offense for a period of for involving fraud and period of 10 years has not elapsed. Previous class discussion. If fraud is involved, then next 10 years is convicted as a fraud, convicted by the court as for an offense, then next 10 years he can't be appointed as an auditor. Okay. Next thing, a person whose subsidiary or association or any other form of it is engaged in a data of appointment in consulting and providing specialized service to the company and its services and its subsidiary company. I should not do any other service mentioned in section 144. We discussed in previous class. You remember previous class 144. I gave you lot of services. If this cost audit is providing these services to the holding company or subsidiary company or associate company, then he can't be appointed in any these companies as an auditor, because he is already providing some other services. Okay. Come to the continuation. That section 144, you please remember, I already discussed in previous class, you please go through, that is very important. You remember all those services that is covered under the 144. Okay. Is rotation applicable to cost auditor? We discussed in previous class, rotation of statutory auditor, such class of companies. For them it is applicable. For such class of company, rotation is applicable. Rotation of auditor is applicable. Whether same thing is applicable for cost auditor or not, that is the question. Whether we have to rotate our cost auditor or not. Actually, the Act is silent about rotation of cost auditor. Act is silent about rotation of cost auditor. So hence the rotation is not applicable to cost auditor. It is applicable only to statutory auditor, that is financial auditor. That is audit under section Companies Act, section 139. Okay. Audit under section 139. For them only this thing is applicable. Not for the section 148. Section 148 deals with cost audit. For them, rotation is not applicable. Okay. So you have to write an answer. Rotation is not applicable. However, for genuine purpose or ethical, following the ethics code of conduct, company voluntarily can rotate the auditor, cost auditor also, for certain period of time. After certain period of time, cost auditor can be rotated. Okay, cost auditor can be rotated. That is not a rule, that is ethics should be followed by the company. That's what they said. 2 paras here discussed with that point only, you please go through. Okay, next page 33. So page 33 is authority for fixing remuneration of cost auditor. Who can fix the remuneration? How it is fixed? We will understand here. Rule 14 of the Companies Audit and Auditor Rule 2014 has laid down the procedure for appointment and fixing the remuneration of cost auditor. It states as follows. Remuneration of cost auditor. For the purpose of section 148, in the case of companies which are required to constitute an audit committee, the board shall appoint an individual who is a cost accountant in practice or a firm of cost accountant in practice, a cost audit on the recommendation of the audit committee, which shall also recommend remuneration for such cost. If the remuneration recommended by the audit committee shall be considered and approved by the board of directors and ratified subsequently by the shareholders. In case of other companies which are required to not required to constitute an audit committee, the board shall appoint an individual who is a cost accountant in practice or a firm of cost accountant in practice, as a remuneration of such cost audit shall be ratified by the shareholders subsequently. The thing is, first it is fixed by the board. If audit committee is not available, board will fix. If audit committee is not applicable, board will fix. If audit committee is applicable, then audit committee will fix and it will recommend to the board. Board will accept. Finally, it is ratified by the shareholders. Ratified the shareholder means they will approve in the meeting, general meeting, later point of time. So initially it is fixed by the board and it is ratified by the shareholder later. Okay, ratified means they are giving an approval, post approval. Okay, post approval they are giving. So the point is, if audit committee is applicable, they will appoint our cost auditor and they will fix the remuneration, and they will recommend and it will be approved by board, and later on it is ratified by the shareholder. If audit committee is not available, board will fix, board will appoint, board will fix the remuneration, and later on it is ratified by the shareholders. Okay. Obligation to report offence of fraud, that is the next heading. Obligation to report offence of fraud. Same point. What is applicable in previous class? I said 1 crore or more fraud is identified by the auditor. Within 2 days, he has to report to the board first, board of directors. Board of directors has to reply within 45 days to the auditor. After receiving the reply, auditor should forward that report to the central government. What we discussed in previous class, same point is applicable here also. What is applicable there, same is applicable here. So you please refer our previous class video. Okay. So nothing new, same thing applicable here. Okay. Cost audit report. I am going to the cost audit report. So as per sub rule 4 of rule 6 of the company's cost records and audit rules 2014 as amended, a cost auditor is required to submit the cost auditor is required to submit the cost audit report along with his reservation or qualification, observation, suggestion in form CRA 3 to board of directors of the company within a period of 180 days from the closure of the financial year to which the report relates. Okay. So the timeline is given for cost accountant is 180 days from the date of closing of the financial year. From the date of closing of the financial year, 180 days he has to submit the cost audit report to the board in form CRA 3 to board of directors. Okay. After receipt of that report, board will submit that report to the central government within 30 days from the receipt of from the date of receipt of from the cost accountant. Okay. Next thing, from the date of report received from the cost accountant within 30 days they have to submit the report to the central government. Next page number 34. So form for filing cost audit report with the central government. So every company to whom cost auditor submit his report shall within a period of 30 days from the date of receipt of a copy of the cost auditor furnish the central government with such report along with full information explanation on every reservation and qualification contained therein in form CRA 4 along with the fees specified in the rules 2014. Okay. The report shall be filed using XBRL taxonomy, extensive business reporting language. It's a different format where we have to upload the financial information, costing related information in a format. It's a software actually. Okay. The point is, cost accountant cost audit report is submitted to the board. Board has to, within 30 days they have to submit to the central government in form number CRA 4. Okay. So form number CRA 4 is used for submission of cost audit report. Okay. So this is the thing related to cost audit. Then come to secretarial audit. I am in the page number 34. Come to secretarial audit. What is secretarial audit? Financial audit, statutory audit is an audit on the financial statement and giving opinion on the financial statement. It is conducted by the statutory auditor. It is conducted by the practicing chartered accountant. Cost audit is an auditing the costing records. Costing record is basically maintenance the books of records for related to costing, that is utilization of material, labor, overheads and other costs, cost of production, cost of sales, margin and allocation of overheads. All the details will be available in the costing record. This is audited by the cost accountant, practicing cost accountant, and it is reported to the central government. Okay, and it is confidential also, not circulable. It cannot be circulated to the shareholders. So what is secretarial audit? Secretarial means what? Secretarial in the sense it is related to rules and regulation. It is related to compliance nature. It is related to following the various procedures, policies of the company. It is related to complying the Companies Act and the other act. That is related to secretarial audit. It is done by practicing company secretaries. Whether secretarial audit is applicable to all the companies or only such class of companies. It is not applicable to all the companies. It is only applicable to such class of companies. So secretarial audit is basically an audit of compliances, rules, and whether the company is complied rules and regulation, Companies Act, all other acts properly or not. Whether they are maintaining books of accounts, whether they are maintaining registers, whether they are maintaining forms as per the act, whether they are giving notices, whether they are maintaining books of, whether they are maintaining register for various purposes, register of members, register of debenture holders, register of loans and advances, minutes of meeting, notices to members for a general meeting purpose, all the aspects related to Companies Act. Okay, related party disclosures, director interested disclosure, any aspect, anything related to act, that should be audited by the one auditor, that is secretarial auditor. That auditor is a practicing company secretary. That is not applicable to all the company. It is applicable only to such class of companies. We will understand what is secretarial audit here actually. I am going to read the first para. Provision of extract of provision of section 204 of the Companies Act 2013, section 204. Under that I am reading, every listed company and a company belonging to other class of company as prescribed in Rule 9 of Chapter 13 under the Act shall annex the board report made in terms of subsection 3 of section 134 a secretarial audit report. Along with the board of director report, they have to annex one more report called secretarial audit report, that is applicable to every listed companies. All the listed companies secretarial audit is applicable, and also such class of companies under the Rule 13, Rule 9 of Chapter 13. We have to understand. I am going to read the Rule 9, next para. Rule 9 secretarial audit report. For the purpose of section 1 of section 204 of the other class of company shall be as under the first point A, every public company having a paid up share capital of 50 crore or more, or every public company having a turnover of 250 crore or more. Thing is, first point, public limited company having paid up share capital of 50 crore or more, then secretarial audit is applicable. Or every public limited company having turnover of 250 crore or more. One is paid up capital, public company only. Remember, this is applicable only to public company having paid up capital of 50 crore or more, or they are having turnover of 250 crore or more. Then this secretarial audit report is applicable. Secretarial audit is applicable. Then they have to appoint a practicing company secretary for conducting the secretarial audit. Second point, Rule 9, second point. The format of secretarial audit report shall be in form number MR3. Remember, for one more purpose, remember all these form. Secretarial audit purpose, secretarial audit report form number is MR3. Okay. I am reading the next point. It shall be the duty of the company to give all assistance and facility to the company in practice for auditing the secretarial and related records of the company. Yes, company has to share all the records related to company secretary, rules and regulation, maintenance of registers, all the books they have to share with the company secretary. Board of directors in the report in terms of subsection 3 of section 134 shall explain in full any qualification, observation or other recommended made by the company in practice in his report under subsection 1. The point is board of directors has to report their board report. On board report they have to attach the secretarial audit report. If secretarial auditor is finding some point, observation, qualification in his report, now it is the responsibility of board of directors to reply for the qualification made by the company secretary, practicing company secretary. Whatever the qualification made in the secretarial audit report, for that board has to reply. That reply should be mentioned in the board report. That's what they are saying. Okay. Next point. Actually, the point number 3, it is not 3, it is 4, I think. If a company or an officer of the company or company secretary in practice contrary with the provision of this and the company, every officer of the company or the company secretary in practice who is in default shall be punishable with a fine shall not be less than 1 lakh rupees, which may extend up to 5 lakh rupees. So company or company secretary both violating the above rules and regulation now, then fine minimum 1 lakh, maximum 5 lakh is the fine actually. Okay. Same thing is again repeated actually. The next section, next thing is applicability of secretarial audit report. To whom it is applicable? First point is every listed company, every public company having paid up share capital 50 crore or more, every public company having turnover of 250 crore or more, and every company having outstanding loans or borrowings, financial institution of 100 crore or more. That is additional point. Okay, additional point. One is capital. Capital is 50 crore, and next thing is turnover. Turnover is 250 crore, and next thing is borrowings or loans. That is 100 crore or more. That is 100 crore or more. Okay. Next page. Come to the next page. Page number 35. Page number 35 is so. No. Page number 35, I think it is related to turnover means what? It is an realization amount made from the sale, supply, turnover they are defining. Turnover means realization from the sale, supply or distribution of goods, both, whatever it is. Anything related to operating expense, operating income, that is their sale. Okay. The secretarial audit report required to be provided in the format prescribed in the MR3. That's what we discussed. Secretarial audit report in the form of MR3. Procedure of appointment of secretarial audit. I am reading the page number 35. Procedure of appointment of secretarial audit. Secretarial auditor is required to be appointed by means of resolution passed at duly convened board meeting. It is advisable for the secretarial auditor to get a letter of engagement from the company. Secretarial auditor should accept the letter of engagement. However, it is advisable that any change in the secretarial auditor during the financial are to be reported to the members of the board. In the board's report, the qualification, observation, comments, remarks of the secretarial audit report shall be read at the annual general meeting of the company along with the explanation and comments of the board of directors. The thing is, who is appointing the secretarial auditor? Board of directors is appointing the secretarial auditor. Okay, board of directors is appointing the secretarial auditor. How he is appointed? Secretarial auditor should get appointment letter and he has to give his consent also. That is what said there. And if secretarial auditor is giving any remarks that should be added in the board's report, they have to reply and that should be added in the board's report also. And what they are saying is secretarial auditor remarks, secretarial auditor observation should also be discussed or heard in the annual general meeting also. It should be read at the annual general meeting. That's what they said. Okay. So with this 7.2 is over. We'll go through the 1 mark. Come to page number 36. True or false? Cost records are to be maintained as per form CRA1. Correct? Cost record has to be maintained as the form CRA1. True. CRA1, CRA2, CRA3, CRA4. Remember all these CRA's purpose also. Cost audit has to follow the cost accounting standard while conducting the cost audit. Yes, of course, he has to follow the cost accounting standards issued by the Institute of Cost Accountant of India. Sometimes they will say they will ask issued by cost accounting standards issued by Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. Then it is false. Cost accounting auditing standards issued by instead of cost accountant of India, then only it is true. Next bullet point, cost accounting standard is mandatory as per section 143 or 148. It is 148, not 143 or 143. Yeah, cost accounting standard is mandatory as per section 143 only. Okay, 143. Cost accounting standard is mandatory with 143 only. Please check above also once again in your material. So all of them, cost accounting, it is an accounting standard actually. It is a standards. In case of statutory audit, in case of financial auditor, in case of financial audit or statutory audit, they have to follow the auditing standard. In case of cost audit, they have to follow the cost accounting standard. Okay, so what is the next one? It is a true or false actually. I will clarify once again. Cost accounting standard is mandatory as per section 143 of the Companies Act. It is false. It is because section 148 we are discussing about cost auditing standard on which standard actually? Section 148, not 143. Hence it is false. Okay. So come to the next question. CRA 2 is used to intimate the appointment of cost auditor to the central government. Correct. CRA 2 is issued to the central government for appointment purpose. CRA 3 also you should remember. CRA 4 also you should remember. What is the next one? Chartered accountant is eligible to conduct secretarial audit having valid certificate of practice. Chartered accountant is eligible or company secretary in practice is eligible? Company secretary in practice only eligible. Okay, not chartered accountant. Chartered accountant is eligible for conducting audit. Audit means financial audit, statutory audit, not secretarial audit. Okay, then it is false. Company secretaries are eligible to conduct cost audit having valid certificate of practice. Again it is false. Only practice cost accountant is eligible to conduct cost audit having valid certificate of practice. Secretarial audit is applicable to all unlisted companies. False. Only paid up capital 50 crore, turnover 250 crore, borrowings 100 crore. For that public companies only this secretarial audit is applicable. Okay. Then what is the next one? Secretarial audit report is given in the form MR3. True. MR3 only it is given. Appointment of secretarial audit is done by means of resolution at board meeting. Board meeting only it is appointed. Board of directors only appointing. True. Secretarial audit report is attached to the board report. True. As I said, in board report they have to annex secretarial audit report. They have to attach the secretarial audit report. Secretarial audit is, next I am reading the fill in the blanks now. Secretarial audit is applicable to all listed companies. All listed companies, not all public companies. Okay. Cost audit is done by cost accountant in practice. Secretarial audit is done by company secretary in practice. Cost records are maintained in form which number? CRA 1. Format for secretarial audit report is form MR3. Secretarial audit is applicable to companies having paid up share capital of 50 crore or more. Secretarial audit is applicable to public company having turnover of 250 crore. Wrong. They insert an answer they given as a wrong answer. 200 crore. It is not 200 crore. It is 250 crore or more. So then secretarial audit is covered under section 204 or 208? 204. 204 of the Companies Act. Cost audit is covered under section 148. Cost auditor is required to be appointed by the board of directors only. Board of directors of the company and recommendation of audit committee. If audit committee is not applicable, board of directors directly will appoint. Then come to the match the following. Match the following, please come. Secretarial audit report, I think MR3. Section 204. Section 204 is secretarial audit. Secretarial audit, what is the answer? Secretarial audit, listed companies only it is applicable. Listed company. Intimation for appointment of cost auditor to central government in form number. Intimation for appointment of cost auditor to central government is form number CRA 2. Fifth point, casual vacancy in the office of cost audit is filled by board of directors. Form for filing cost audit report with the central government. Form for filing cost audit report with the central government. Which form? CRA 1 na? Or what is the form? CRA 4. CRA 4, okay. Section 148 of the Companies Act is what? Cost audit. CRA 3 is for what purpose? CRA 3 is for what purpose? Cost audit report by auditor to company. Okay, cost auditor is preparing report and submitted in a CRA 3 to the company. Cost accounting records, CRA 1. CRA 1 is for cost accounting records. CRA 2 is for intimation for appointment of cost auditor to central government. CRA 3 is for CRA 3 is for what purpose? CRA 3 is given or not given here? MR3 only given. CRA 3 is for what purpose? It is for the purpose of cost audit report by the auditor to the company. CRA 4 is for what purpose? CRA 4 is for what purpose? Form for filing cost audit report with the central government. Okay, that is CRA 4. Or I think CRA 4 is so again I am discussing from CRA 1 to CRA 4. Okay, CRA 1 is for what purpose? CRA 1 is for cost accounting record purpose, maintenance of cost accounting record. CRA 1. CRA 2 is for what purpose? Intimation for appointment of cost auditor to central government, for that purpose. Okay, so CRA 3 is for what purpose? Cost audit report by the auditor to company, that is CRA 3 purpose. Then CRA 4 is for what purpose? CRA 4 is CRA 4 is for form for filing cost audit report with the central government, for that purpose. Okay, so then what about the ninth question? Cost accounting records, that is CRA 1. 10th question is penalty for non-compliance of section 204. Penalty for non-compliance of section 204 is G, that is 1 lakh rupees, which can extend to 5 lakh rupees. Okay, so then what? Come to the choose the correct answer. Cost audit can be done by the whom? Cost auditor. Secretarial audit done by the secretarial auditor. Maintenance of cost records, CRA 1. Then come to the next page. Secretarial audit is applicable to public sector company having paid up share capital of how much? 50 crore or more. Secretarial audit is applicable to public sector company having turnover of 250 crore or more. Form for secretarial audit report is MR3. Same question they are asking different manner. Okay, same question they are asking again and again. Last question. Cost auditor is appointed by the board of director on recommendation of audit committee. That you write actually. Board also, if audit committee is applicable, then this is the answer. If audit committee is applicable, this is the answer. If audit committee is not applicable, then board of director will appoint the cost accountant, cost auditor. Okay, assuming the audit committee is applicable in this case, hence C is the answer. With this, 7.2 is over. This is also important. 7.1 and 7.2 is little bit more important. You can expect around 15 marks from 7.1 and 7.2. So balance 10 marks you can expect from the 7.3 and 7.4. So in next class we will discuss the 7.3. So today class we will wind up for the day. So please start studying your all the subjects. Don't wait for examination. Don't wait for last time preparation. Please prepare now itself. Okay, thank you.